Guess who's saving her? Seeing Bud's sadness, his wife cancelled her date and brought him home to reunite with the kids. Hugging two adorable kids, Bud felt family warmth again, as if saying, "I'm back." He felt immense guilt for his previous impulsiveness, thinking, how could I let these little munchkins lose their dad? He knew he had to stay strong, but the pressing question was, who murdered this big shot? On the surface, Julia was a tough politician who had stepped on plenty of toes in the political arena. First, there was Anne, the counter-terrorism head who was sidelined by her. Then there was old Deng from the security agency, who provided dirt but got used by her. Let's not forget her ex-husband. Current Whip Roger was also a worthy opponent, not to mention the sitting prime minister who could be in hot water. Everyone had a motive to make her disappear, and each of them held a high position. Small-time cop Bud could only slowly sort through clues, weaving an invisible web. By questioning a doctor, he learned Roger was frantically searching for Julia's killer dirt that night. To prove his theory, Bud crashed Roger's campaign meetup and boldly asked what he was looking for. Although the old fox played it cool in front of Bud, she was already panicking inside. She hurriedly found Deputy Minister Old Pulse, claiming Bud knew about the two top players were just following orders to recover the dirt, and their connection to the murder would soon become clear thanks to the police's new leads. Surveillance caught a suspicious briefcase belonging to the Interior Advisor Rob, who was Old Pulse's right-hand gal. Realizing police suspicion, she panicked. Seeing Roger's nervous chat with Old Pulse, she broke down. During the routine police questioning, she spilled everything she knew. Turns out Roger concocted a plan to embarrass Julia publicly. They wanted to add false info to Julia's speech, so handed the briefcase to Stash Guy last. They just wanted to ensure he didn't have time to check the contents, but they knew nothing about the bomb. From Rob's eyes, Bud knew he was lying. Not a rival, the most relevant lead was in Julia's hands. So, Bud returned to his hotel to investigate Richard. Upon reviewing surveillance, he found it tampered. All frames with Richard were white, seemingly to hide his identity. Sadly, Julia's attack footage was erased for an hour. Aside from the police, only national security agents could pull this off. The new clue on the university bombing, the bomb didn't come from the briefcase. Instead, it was placed under the podium, hidden in a sealed container of 80 sniffer dogs. It needed the weight of at least 2 people to detonate. This was why Stash Guy was summoned backstage. The bomb resembled a train bombing case. It was likely the same person was behind both, so police brought Nadia back for questioning, allowing Bud to join in to lower her guard. Nadia was very cooperative. She confessed the bomb came from her husband, but had no idea how he got it. She admitted to having secretly met a man, but after seeing the police sketch, she claimed she had never seen the suspect. It was clear that Bud and Stash Guy weren't the masterminds behind the bomb. As clues dried up, Bud showed Richard's electronic image, making Nadia nervous. She nodded rapidly, confirming her husband met Richard. If true, Julia's assassin is linked to the NSA. However, according to procedures, electronic images couldn't serve as valid evidence. If they were going to pin the blame on the NSA, they needed more solid evidence. Neither the police system nor the license plate registry revealed any information on Richard. Left with no other choice, Bud confessed the dirt lead to Anne, speculating that the NSA was likely covering up the crime. This stirred up trouble for NSA chief Old Deng, especially with Richard being so exposed in public. Sure enough, Lorraine called Bud in next, accusing him of an inappropriate relationship with Julia. To maintain the police department's reputation, she decided to suspend Bud. Bud quickly realized the NSA was behind it again. As he was close to the truth, he couldn't give up the investigation. He protested vehemently. Lorraine ignored him and ordered her subordinates to supervise, confiscating his badge and leaving Bud in a tight spot. He could face retaliation at any moment. To keep his wife alert, he confessed to his affair. But his wife wasn't surprised. Someone had already spilled the beans yesterday. And the informant was Richard, but his aim was not just gossip, it was to help Bud retrieve the dirt from Julia. Tablet evidence was clearly key to pinning down the NSA. That night, Bud quietly snuck into Julia's house. He found the tablet hidden behind a frame, but didn't turn it over to the police. He told Ross about Richard's visit to check hospital surveillance for leads. This time, the police's investigation into Buden yielded new findings. Buden was a demolition expert, yet wasn't on the police. It was clear that someone was pulling strings, hiding his details. More suspiciously, the cops had no records of his gun's origin, but realized this. Using his gun as bait to lure him into acquiring Buden's sniper rifle, This fishing trip almost cost Bud his life. The next day, Bud was in a coffee shop sorting through his thoughts when suddenly a fired assistant popped up. He was adorned in bling from head to toe, clearly unfazed by the dismissal in the slightest. Oddly, they had only worked together a few days, yet the assistant was overly friendly, even inviting Bud for future hangouts.